The Muizenberg Dam is located right in the middle of the densely populated area of Suffisant. If you look for the Quai Fort de France behind a residential neighborhood, you will find the dam. The dam at Muizenberg is an artificial freshwater pond that was built in 1915 by the Royal Dutch Shell to collect fresh water for industrial cooling purposes. Although it is not used for this purpose anymore, the dam is still being preserved. The area is a Ramsar site, and in years of heavy rainfall, one of the most important areas for water birds on the island, and has unique records of species.
Ramsar is the name of a city in Iran where the Wetlands Treaty was actually signed. Originally it was a treaty for wetlands for the benefits of waterfowl. One of the conditions, the obligations a country has to be part of this treaty is that they would designate at least one area as a Ramsar site which has international protection as the way and should be managed in a system they call wise use. When there is a lot of water, waterfowl will come, and it's a bird's paradise.
The Muizenberg Dam collects fresh water during heavy rainfall in the rainy season, and therefore plays an important role in recharging groundwater reservoirs and survival of animals, especially birds.
One of the favorite species here are the coots, the Caribbean coots. Actually, nowadays it's called American coots. They had split the species at one time, but they still think it's a single species now. It's black with a white shield in front of their face, and their legs, they have very long toes.
The American coot is dependent on the seasonal availability of freshwater ponds for breeding. On Curacao, successful breeding of the American coot has taken place at the Muizenberg and Malpais dams. At Muizenberg, hundreds of coots are regularly observed, and breeding occurs predominantly in the 3-month period between January and March, immediately after the rainy season, when there is enough water behind the dams. Both areas have been designated as Ramsar sites.
What is that bird over there?
Yeah, well, that bird may look a bit like a coot, but it's different. You see, it has a completely red shield, and it looks very much like the European moorhen. This is the common gallinule. Actually, it was taxonomically split from the moorhen about 5-6 years ago, and mainly because the main difference is the call, and ours laugh.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
The common gallinule, you might say, looks like the American coot's little cousin. It is a small black bird with a red frontal shield and a red bill with a yellow tip. It has long greenish legs and toes. The common gallinules on Curacao are of West Indian origin. They have become breeding birds since permanent freshwater ponds came into existence on the island. The long toes make it possible for it to walk on soft mud and floating vegetation. It forages while swimming, walking on land, or climbing through marsh vegetation. It is an omnivorous bird. Major food items include leaves, stems, and seeds of various water plants. It also eats fruits of terrestrial plants and insects and mollusks. Other migratory and nomadic birds use the area of Muizenberg for overwintering or as a breeding habitat. The pied-billed grebe and the white-cheeked pintail have also been confirmed as breeding residents. Flamingos occasionally feed here in groups of up to 170 birds.
If you look there is a group of 2 species. May look like 3, but what they are is the white-cheeked pintail, which is a species which is here almost the whole year, and he even breeds on the island. And you have the blue-winged teal, and the blue-winged teals have a difference between the males and the females. The females are a little drab brownish colored, and the males are much brighter colored and have a dark head with a white crescent in the back of their eyes.
You can easily recognize a white-cheeked pintail by their white cheeks that extend to their throat. The tip of their bill is gray-blue with a red band at the base, and the male has a longer pointed tail than the female. They prefer fresh water, but have also been spotted in inner bays. When fresh water is abundant, they will spread out over the island. In dry seasons, you will find the majority of the population congregating at the few freshwater ponds that remain. The blue-winged teal gets its name from the blue patch on its upper wings, especially visible during flight. The area of Muizenberg represents a high conservation value, as it is one of the few important freshwater areas on the island. When the water level in these areas drops, vegetation starts growing, and this attracts insects, which are an important food source for several bird species. The organic matter left behind by these plants, insects, and birds as water disappears fuels aquatic life when fresh water comes back during the rainy season.
Yeah, those two, it looks like two. But...
Two of them. Yes, do you see them?
Oh yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
Great.
What you see is a southern lapwing, which has been here for a long time, but in the last 5 years they've started to breed here.
Southern lapwings are a recent invader to Curacao from South America and have been spotted in large numbers on the golf course in Amistad. Before seeing them, you will probably already have become aware of their presence by their call. Southern lapwings are very noisy birds that will call out at the least disturbance. It is a beautiful bird with a bronze-green sheen. It can easily be recognized by its red eyes and legs. The bill in the adult bird is red with a black tip.
The lapwing is not really a water bird. It's related to, it likes a little wettish grasslands.
The water at the Muizenberg Dam is only temporarily available since the dam only fills up after relatively long periods of rain. So be sure to visit this area before all the water has evaporated.